All right, folks, this is Matt Breton from the Big Woods Bucks team. I'm starting out talking about scouting today. It's April. It's snowing here in Vermont. The only thing that's really hard to do this time of year is getting out on the road. So you have to pick some spots that are accessible this time of year. We want to respect forest landowners, not muddy up roads, create ruts, that sort of thing. That's a good way for nobody to hunt those areas. We've got onX maps here on the computer, and I like to start with the topo map version and just zoom in. I've got a bunch of layers set up here for public land ownership stuff. So zoom in, you get a sense of some good-sized country. What I like to look for are good ridge lines with not much road access. And then looking for things like saddles, like this spot in here would be considered a saddle. There's probably a brook running each side here. We can verify that in a second by switching to the satellite imagery. This looks like a nice runway up here, this valley. If I was a buck trying to get to the top of the mountain, I wouldn't go straight up the topo lines. I'd go weave my way up through these little benches and saddles. So I like to look for decent sized country, not too close to roads, and then find some satellite imagery. And I like to look for cuts. And so you can see cuts here, some more cuts over here. As we zoom in, this looks like a little brook valley in here. I don't see necessarily any beaver ponds. Those are other things I like to look for on the map. Get a little wider view here. So what I would do at this point is drop a pin on there where I wanted to go check out in this little brook valley. I might park on one road and take a walk up in there, drive around to see what it looks like on the other road, walk in on from the other side. Drop a pin on there, load the map on my phone, and make sure I've got that loaded for offline use, and then I would head in there. Here's a pond here. I don't know if you can see it. So a pond here, that's going to funnel deer movement around it. And so when you're looking at big woods, you've got to pick something for structure that are going to force the deer to move in certain places. Clear cuts, you can almost assume there's going to be does nearby, and the bucks are going to check those does. And then I always like the topography. I like some tougher country to get into. If we look at this pond, now we've got a saddle here, saddle here. We go back to the satellite imagery. And there's some cuts around, so that looks like a nice spot to go check out and maybe hunt a little bit. I prefer, if you look over here, this looks like really dense softwood. That isn't my favorite mountaintop cover to hunt in. I much prefer something over here that looks a little more combination hardwood, softwood, ridge tops. So what we'll do is go out and do a little ground proofing, look around, and just learn some new country. You got to start somewhere in the big woods, and onX Maps is a great place to start.